Are we filming? Yes, we are. This is a coffee break. Welcome to a wet and wild, very windy UK. We're going to have another storm coming in tonight. So it's best to keep warm, drink plenty of coffee. But what I want to talk to you about today is, I call it my Goldilocks filofax. It's something that I recently acquired, very recently in fact. Let me just get rid of all the damp there. So as everybody knows, I'm using this very, very small homemade disc-based binder as my planner, to-do list, shopping list, etc. This is what I carry all the time, and this is one of many of my regular personal sized binders. And there are various things that you can use to have something in between. I'm currently looking for something. Is it here? No, it's not. It's upstairs. But essentially, there's you can have a pocket size or the old original 4-ring pocket sized. But I'm tempted to try. I mean, I'm always trying different things, but this is what I want to try as a jotter filofax that I can easily carry in a jacket pocket. And I'll be talking jackets sometime in the new year, but essentially what appeals to me, this is one of my very, very recent acquisitions. It's incredibly old. It's I've done a review of this, but those who have seen it will know that this particular, it's not even a filofax, but it's similar to a filofax. And it has a similar ring mechanism. Let me take out the original inserts. Similar, but the rings are slightly different compared to a standard filofax. If we look at them here, I don't want to bend it, but if I can go like this, you can see that there is a difference. There we go. However, that is not an insurmountable problem, simply because I have one of these, what one's this called? This is a Rapesco, but it has adjustable sets of 3 punches. So you can slide these backwards and forwards, so you can use them for not only personal size, but also mini size and pocket size. But you can also set them so that they match these unusual rings, which is a Twinlock mechanism. Who knows? 1920s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, I don't know. Still working on that. Still trying to identify this commercial logo. If anyone can see me right on this logo is an Associated Electrical Industries logo. There we go, it's in focus now. And I really am struggling to find the date, because logos change as companies move along their timeline. And I really want to know whether this can help me date this binder. But it's a lovely sort of leather cloth binder, really, really nice. And one of the advantages of it, and you know I'm going to say this, is this. You cannot get better flatability than that. And if you're using something one-handed, so here I am, I'm left-handed, so I've got my phone in the other hand, or my mouse or my trackball in the other end, and I can write. I don't have to be constantly holding it down and holding it open with another hand, so I don't have to do that. I can just write and then I can close it. So that is the appeal. I'm going to try this for a few days, a few weeks, who knows, but I'm going to use this as my notebook for jotting ideas down. And the reason why this appeals is because A6 I find a little bit easier to use in terms of free-flowing ideas than A7. I don't have an issue with A7. Excuse me. Just blowing my nose there. I don't have an issue with A7, and A7 works just fine, but I'm just trying A6, and there's no waste, obviously. There's no waste. I just buy packs of A4, cheap printer paper, and it's something that I find quite therapeutic. Let me move my coffee, which is far too hot at the moment, and let me it's not always a good idea to place your coffee and paper doesn't really mix, but I just find that it doesn't have to be absolutely spot on, but I tend to, other than the I sometimes use a guillotine, but in this particular case, adding 4 pieces of A6, it's just so much easier to just fold, so you don't have to measure, and then slide and slide and slide, and there we go. And then, because I've got these rings set up to work and have them exactly how I want them, let me just slide them into there. Okay, and that's all you have to do. It's perfect. I mean, this is the beauty, really, of ring binders, isn't it? The absolute beauty. And there we go. Some people might say, well, Neil, it's sticking out like that. What are you going to do with that? But I don't have an issue with that, because it's not going to be affected in my pocket, because it's going to be resting on the bottom lining, the inner lining of the pocket. It's not going to be affected at the top, and you know, it's okay. In fact, sticking out slightly means that I don't have to. It's easy. It's just easy thumbing through them. I've actually got in here. I've been experimenting with the notion of having a top-mounted. It's black there, so it's hard to see, but a top-mounted tab. Let me show you this. So it's just a dashboard from an old personal size filofax that I've turned around, punched, and then cut down to size, because this is it's a bigger page, quite a lot bigger personal size. So you can make a top tab divider from a personal size filofax. Why have I got one of these in here? Well, it's simply because what I want to do with this is to just, if I want to subdivide things, well, I can. Not quite sure. It was just a spur of the moment thing. So I've added this. I may add some more. I may take them out and remove them completely. It doesn't really matter. What does matter is that it's all part of an experiment. I like to chop and change. So that's really what I wanted to talk about, and we're getting up for 10 minutes already, which is more than long enough, frankly, for a coffee break. But I quite like this. I know that it's very, very difficult to recommend something that is an extremely rare item. You can't go out and buy, and you can't have all of you going out and buying one of these because they're as rare as hen's teeth. But having said that, it's just an exercise. I would say it's a good exercise in considering the fact that any binder of any size, no matter how obscure, could be used as a notebook. I mean, for instance, my disc bound custom size binder, this size is not commercially available, not that I'm aware of anyway, but it just happens to suit me. This just happens to suit me at this current time. And things change, but crucially, I've created a notebook that I can use to my benefit, where there's no paper waste. I mean, that's crucial. I do like using A4, A6, A7, A8 I have used before as well. So there's no paper waste, and I can have the freedom of using a reasonable amount of paper without worrying about the cost. I mean, if I was doing this with a filofax and buying sheets from filofax themselves, each sheet would be about 8p, I believe, whereas these are a quarter of half, so 1/8 of a penny. Each of these sheets is roughly 1/8 of a penny, so a considerable, 32 times cheaper than using filofax inserts from the filofax company. So, and there's no wastage, because if I only use half the page, I can cut this down into A7 or even A8. So I quite like it. I quite like that concept of not using up too much, not creating too much waste, which for me is important, because I use so much paper. I mean, I don't do things that, I'm digressing here, but for instance, I don't fly. So my environmental conscience is clear if I'm using all sorts of paper like this, and even scrap paper, even junk mail I cut up and use bits of old envelope. So I feel that I'm doing my bit by not using too much, even though I am using probably more paper than the average person out there. But anyway, it's going to be an interesting, and I think that I might persevere with this. Obviously, I chop and change all the time. I mean, that's in my nature. But I actually really like this, and it just has a form factor, and the icing on the cake is this amazing flatability that is hard to come by. But it's like a drug, this flatability. Once you start working with binders that have this level of flatability, it's very, very hard to go back to something that has that's almost like a clamshell, where you need multiple hands and fingers to keep it open so you can actually write anything in it. So I like it. Anyway, I'm obviously wittering on here. Thank you very much for watching. I'm going to have my coffee now. Thank you and goodbye.